Hey Christina, I've heard that life is getting you down, and so I thought that maybe you might like to do a little yoga with me. So right now we are on Spencer Spit, which is on Lopez Island, and I don't want you to be looking straight at my face, but I don't know where the button is to make it so you're not. Oh, I can't do that while here we are. We're at Spencer Spit. This is Lopez Island in the San Juan Island groups, just off the Washington coast. Hopefully you can see this. And currently I don't know how to use my iPad. But at any rate, I thought maybe, how about we get started? I like to get started in child's pose when I practice at home. So if you just want to bring your heels together, you can take a wide-legged child's pose. You can bring your knees together, your choice, but just extend your arms long, bringing your forehead down to the mat. Feel free to tense your hands over your head in prayer. You can rest them at your side, whatever is most comfortable for you. And then let's just move into some breath work. So when we're going to do this, I'm going to turn this around so you can look at the scenery. Actually, I would invite you to close your eyes at this point and bring your attention inward to the breath. Just noticing the breath you arrived with. Just noticing without judgment and with compassion. Now let's take a big deep inhale in through the nose and out through the mouth. Again, another big deep inhale in through the nose and out through the mouth. Taking one more on your own. Closing your mouth, continue to move the air in and out of the nostrils. Noticing how the physical body responds to each inhale and each exhale. Using your breath to calm you, to soothe you, to ground you here in your practice, grounding you here in the present. I invite you to let go of any physical tension in your body, and to let go of any holding in your emotional body. Letting go of any thoughts, any feelings, anything that isn't serving you. Continuing to work towards your biggest, fullest inhale and your biggest, fullest exhale. Creating space for new energy, new oxygen, new life. Reminding yourself to use your breath as your teacher, your guide, not the ego. And invite you to let your breath lead the way, allowing the rhythm of your breath to carry you through your own moving meditation, grounding you here in this moment. And reminding yourself that we are all human with our own unique set of challenges. We are here to honor the journey, to let go of what we no longer need, and open ourselves to receive. Setting an intention as part of your practice, feel free to do so now. Maybe it's a single word or a mantra. Maybe it's something you'd like to work on. Maybe it's something you'd like to let go of. Maybe it's just an expression of gratitude. Okay, so whenever you feel ready, it's with an inhale, move up into tabletop, so coming to all fours, so hands are planted flat directly underneath your shoulders. Knees are hip width distance apart directly underneath your hips. And head is just an extension of the spine here. So crown of the head is reaching away from the tailbone here. We're just going to move through a few cat-cows. So with an inhale, belly drops, gaze comes up, tail sticks out. Exhale, spine rounds, tail tucks under, gaze to your belly button. Going low belly to spine. Inhaling back to cow, belly drops, gaze comes up. And then exhale back to cat, spine rounds, tail tucks under. Taking a few more on your own, moving with your own breath. Remembering the pauses between each inhale and each exhale. And feel free to add any movements that are speaking to you here. Maybe some circles with the spine, maybe some circles with the hips or the head. Just checking in with our body, noticing what we arrived with. Allowing and honoring find. Warming up our spine for our practice. Taking a few more. Continuing to build that breath, maybe moving to the Ujjayi breath here. So putting that small constriction in the back of your throat and breathing in and out of that constriction, so your breath should sound ocean-like and be audible. Whenever you feel ready, we'll be back in neutral table. And then let's just go ahead and walk our hands forward a couple inches, curl the toes of our feet, and with an exhale, send our hips up to the sky for downward facing dog. So palms are placed flat here, fingers are spread wide. Nice straight line of energy from the heel of your hand all the way out through your sit bones. Head hangs heavy, gaze is between your knees. And keeping as deep of a bend in your knees as you need. Heels reach towards the earth but do not need to touch. Feel free to pedal out your feet. Think about rolling your armpits in towards one another, opening up the upper spine. Sit bones reach up and back as ribs fall away. Taking one more breath here. And then with our next inhale, knees bend, gaze comes forward to our hands, and then let's just walk our feet to meet our hands in forward fold. Head hangs heavy, knees are soft. With an inhale, let's halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, relax back down. Head hangs heavy, keeping as deep of a bend in your knees as you need here. My hamstrings are wicked tight, so I like to keep a deep bend in my knees. Again, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, relax back down. One more time. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, relax back down. Now let's just go ahead and heel to our feet so they're hip width distance apart here. And then let's just reach for opposite elbows. Moving into ragdoll. Allowing the head to hang heavy, shaking any tension from your neck. Allowing the weight of your head to create more space between your vertebrae. Maybe bending slowly side to side here. And releasing that bind with an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, relax back down. Inhale, slowly come to standing one vertebra at a time. So head will come up very last. Arms will sink up and overhead. Gaze comes up. And then exhale, hands to heart center. We're just going to move through a few sun salutation gaze here. So with an inhale, arms sweep to the sky. Exhale, swan dive forward, knees are soft, head empty. Inhale to halfway lift. exhale, plant your hands and step back to plank. So nice straight line of energy, nice flat body. So straight line from the crown of the head all the way out through your heels. Feel free to come to your knees here if plank is not speaking to you today. Honor where you are. This is your body. Give yourself what you need today. It's gonna look different from everybody else, and that's the way it's supposed to be. One more breath here. And then with our next exhale, let's go ahead and lower all the way to our belly. So elbows are gonna come straight back, skimming the sides of our body, going all the way to our belly. Moving into baby cobra with an inhale, chest peels away from the earth, hands are directly underneath our shoulders, tops of the feet pressed to the earth. Really engaging that back body here. Nice. One more breath here. With our next exhale, gently release to the earth, forehead comes down to your mat. Taking one inhale here. And then with our exhale, let's send our hips up to the sky for downward facing dog. 3 breaths here in downward facing dog. With our next inhale, knees bend, gaze comes forward. Let's, with our exhale, step our feet to meet our hands in forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, melt back down, head empties. Inhale, slowly come to standing. Arms circle up and overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Moving through another sun salutation. Inhale, arms sweep to the sky. Exhale, swan dive forward. Knees are soft. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank, moving through your own version of your vinyasa. So exhale brings us down to chaturanga. We can either come all the way to our bellies or to that half push-up, and then inhale to upward facing dog. So chest presses away from the earth, tops of the feet are planted to the mat, thighs hover just a couple inches above your mat. And with our exhale, really engage that core to pull your hips up to the sky for downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Reminding yourself to stay here, stay centered, stay present, stay connected. On the bottom of your next exhale, let's step those feet to meet our hands in forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, relax back down. Inhale, root to rise. Slowly come to standing. Arms circle to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Last Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, arms sweep to the sky. Exhale, fold forward, head empties. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank, taking your version of your vinyasa. So exhale brings you down. Inhale brings you up to your baby back bend. And then exhale brings you to downward facing dog. Always knowing that you can switch it up. Always knowing you can keep your knees first. Always knowing you can just step to downward facing dog. This is your practice. Give yourself what you need today. One more breath here. On the bottom of your next exhale, step those feet to meet your hands. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, melt back down. Inhale, root to rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Moving into our main flow here. With an inhale, let's sweep our arms to the sky. Exhale, let's side bend to the right. I cannot mirror to save my life, so I'm so sorry. You're just gonna have to deal with me doing it the wrong way. I apologize. One more breath here. Inhale brings you back to center. Exhale, side bend to the left, so you can either grab a hold of that right wrist, or you can bring that left hand down for a little bit of support, but just make sure your chest is nice and open. So you want to be open, you don't want to be rounded down. Really pulling that shoulder away from the hip, breathing into that side body. With With our next inhale, let's come back up to center. Exhale, let's clasp hands behind our backs. Inhale, we're gonna pull our hands towards the earth, chest opens, gaze comes up. Little mini back bend. Yikes. Exhale, we're gonna keep that bind and we're gonna fold forward. Again, I have a huge bend in my knees. Feel free to keep that deep bend in your knees. Keep breathing. With our next inhale, we're gonna sit into chair pose. So hips are gonna sink back, arms are gonna come up and overhead. Little tuck of that tail, so pulling low belly to spine. You don't want your spine to be too arched, you want it to be too rounded. Looking down, making sure you can see those toes. Beautiful. Exhale, let's fold forward. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank, take a vinyasa. Moving with your own breath, nice and slow. With our next inhale, let's lift that right leg to the sky. Exhale, we're gonna move into a little crunch. So knee comes to nose, shoulders come over wrists. Inhale to extend that leg up and back. Exhale, bring that foot through, plant it in between your hands. We're setting up for warrior one here. So back foot pivots to a 45-degree angle. Engaging the core, inhale, brings us up. Checking in with those hips, making sure that they are parallel to that front wall. Gaze comes up. Checking in with that knee to make sure it's centered over your ankle so you don't want your knee to fall in or out. Protecting that knee joint, making sure your knee has not gone past a 90-degree bend. Lifting through that back knee, so equal weight between your feet, really trying to plant down that outer edge of that back foot. Core is engaged. One more breath here. With our next exhale, let's open to warrior two. So back foot pivots to a 90-degree bend. 90-degree angle. Arms come to a T. Soft gaze past those front fingertips. Hips are open up to the side wall. Again, checking with that knee, making sure it's centered. Lifting through that back knee. Keep breathing, really pulling those fingertips away from one another. With our next inhale, we're going to move into reverse warrior. So right arm's going to sweep up and back. Left arm can either rest on your thigh, it can come behind your back, your choice. Making sure that front knee is still bent. Keep breathing. With our next exhale, we're going to move into extended side angle. So right elbow comes to right knee. Inhale, left fingertips reach towards the front of the room. So biceps should hover just a couple inches above that ear. Chest is nice and open. Remembering to practice equanimity in these poses. So these poses, these situations in life, they're not easy, they're not hard. They just are. And you're so strong. You've got this. Keep breathing. One more breath. With our next inhale, coming up to warrior two. Exhale, hands cartwheel down to meet the mat. Step your foot back to plank. Take a vinyasa. Moving with your breath. With our next inhale, let's do that left leg to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. Shoulders come over wrists. Inhale for extension. Exhale, bring that foot through, plant it in between your hands, setting up for warrior one on the other side. Back foot pivots to that 45-degree angle, hips square to the front of the room. Inhale, brings you up. Exhale, soften into it. So shoulders relax away from the ears. Checking with that knee, making sure it's centered. Lifting through that back knee. Equal weight between your feet. Keep breathing. Reminding yourself that is our foundation of our practice. next exhale, opening up to warrior two. So back foot opens to that 90-degree angle. Arms come to the two. One more breath here. With our next inhale, let's reverse our warrior. Left arm sweeps up and back. Right arm comes to that thigh. Boat is getting wobbly. I hope I don't fall off. With our next exhale, let's move to extended side angle. Left elbow comes to left knee. Inhale, right fingertips towards the front of the room. Chest is open. Remembering to enjoy that nice full body side stretch. Breathing into those ribs, feeling that rib cage expand. One more breath. With our next inhale, coming back up to warrior two. Exhale, hands circle down to the mat. Engage that core for a nice clean step back. So see if you can do it without making a noise. And then moving through vinyasa. Exhale brings you down. Three breaths here in downward facing dog. And for this last one, let's take a deep inhale in through the nose and out through the mouth. Letting it all go. On the bottom of our next exhale, let's step those feet to meet our hands. Inhale to half lift. Exhale, melt back down, head empties. Inhale, root to rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll move through this flow one more time. This time, moving to one breath, one movement. So inhale, arms sweep to the sky. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, clasp hands behind your back. Inhale, pulling your hands towards the earth, opening your heart. Exhale, fold forward, leading with your chest. Inhale brings you to chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale for that half lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. Take that vinyasa. Moving with your own breath. It's okay if we're moving at different paces. With our next inhale, sweep that right leg to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale for extension. Exhale, bring that foot through, plant it in between your hands. Setting up for warrior one. Inhale brings you up. Exhale, softening to warrior two. Arms open to that T. Inhale to reverse that warrior. Exhale to extended side angle. Right elbow to right knee. Inhale, left fingertips to the sky. Inhale brings you back to warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to meet the mat. Step your foot back. Take a vinyasa. Or just up to downward facing dog. This is your practice. Give yourself what you need. Or if you want to do 10 push-ups, feel free to do that too. Our next inhale, sweep that left leg to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale for extension. Exhale, bring that foot through, plant it in between your hands. Inhale brings us to warrior one, Virabhadrasana A. Exhale, softening to Vira 2. Inhale to reverse that warrior. Exhale to extended side angle, left elbow to left knee. Inhale, right fingertips towards the front of the room. Inhale brings us back up to warrior 2. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to meet the mat. Step your foot back. Take that vinyasa. Taken 3 breaths here. Just go ahead and lower back down to child's pose. Knees come down to the mat, hips sink back to your heels, arms extended long, forehead comes to meet the earth. Taking this time to recenter, reground, reconnect with yourself, reconnect with that intention if you set one. Keep breathing. Next inhale, let's go ahead and rise back up. Let's come all the way through to seated. Extending your legs long in front of you. We're just gonna move into some forward folds here. So setting up in Dandasana, so sitting up nice and tall, crown of the head, reaching towards the sky. Let's just inhale, arms up. I can't do it because there's lifelines right here, up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward to wherever you can keep a nice long flat spine. So again, I have a huge bend in my knees here. Tight hamstrings, trying to be kind to my body, so pushing towards my edge but not past it. We're gonna inhale to halfway lift, release some of that tension, exhale, fold back down. So knowing the difference between sensation and pain, honoring where you are today. It may be different from yesterday or where you'll be tomorrow. Just honoring and allowing. With our next inhale, let's come back up to seated. Let's just move into a twist here. So let's go ahead and take the sole of the right foot and place it on the ground on the inside of that left thigh. Sitting up nice and tall again. We're going to inhale our arms up and overhead. Exhale, we're going to twist to the right, planting that right hand behind your right hip. So staying seated nice and tall, so not sinking down into that. Seated nice and tall. You can lock that left elbow onto the right knee. We're going to inhale for length. Exhale to twist a little deeper. Even if it's just energetically, so remembering to not wrench on your body. Toes in that extended leg. Stay flexed. Using our inhales to create space and exhales to release, relax, let go. With our next inhale, sweeping our arms back through center. Exhale, twist to the left, just for one cycle of breath. And then inhale back to center, moving to the other side, so extending that right leg long. Taking the sole of the left foot and placing it on the ground next to the inside of that right thigh. Toes are flexed on this extended leg, so that quad is engaged. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, twist to the left. Left hand plants behind that hip. Inhale for length. Exhale, just twist a little deeper. Checking in with those toes, making sure they're still flexed. With our next inhale, sweeping our arms back through center. Exhale, twisting to the right just for one cycle of breath. Little counter twist. And then inhale back to center, extending that left leg long. Let's just go ahead and plant the soles of our feet to the earth, knees bent. Engage that core, come all the way down to our backs. Bring our knees into our chest once we get there. Wrapping our arms around our shins. Bringing our nose towards our knees, knees towards our nose. Thanking ourselves for our practice. Thanking our bodies for what they can do for us. Thanking ourselves for showing up. Relaxing our head back down to the mat. With an inhale, let's open our arms wide into a big T. Knees are still bent, and with an exhale, let's allow our knees to fall to left, gaze moves to the right. So just a gentle twist here. One more breath here. With our next inhale, bring your knees back to center. Exhale, knees Eyes twist to the right, gaze moves to the left. Feeling the support of the earth beneath the body. And with our next inhale, bring our knees back to center. And then again, bring our nose towards our knees, knees towards our nose, squishing up into that little ball, giving ourselves a little hug. And then with our exhale, let's just allow everything to relax down to the mat. We're setting up for a final resting pose of Shavasana. Maybe putting some space between your feet, taking up as much space as you need. Maybe bringing one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly, or allowing your hands to rest on earth, palms faced up. Finding a comfortable position you can rest in for the next couple of moments as we let go of our practice, as we let go of all doing, letting go of that strong ujjayi breath, allowing our eyes to close, bringing our attention inward, allowing any tension to release from our body, allowing our mind to empty. Opening ourselves to receive. And then let's just take one more big deep inhale in through the nose. Sad to truth, but will it be just allow yourself to completely melt into your mat. Take rest.
Some things I do default is too well. Close eyes, open close, I can feel as my body spells. Dark, six, dark. Dark, six, dark. Shadow burns across like canvas dyed paper.
Slowly begin to invite movement back into the body. So wiggling fingers and toes. Maybe finding small circles with your wrists or your ankles. And then with an inhale, extending your arms long to the back side of the room. A nice full body stretch. Rolling over to one side. Pausing for a moment. And then when you feel ready, gently pushing yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Keeping eyes closed, bringing hands to heart center. Thank you for taking time to nurture your body, mind, and soul. I hope each day brings inspiration and courage to follow your heart. The love and light in me honor the love and light in you. Namaste. thank you. I hope this wasn't too long. I hope it brought you a little bit of peace. I hope this finds you well. Take care. Sending lots of love your way.